Terminator Zero was released on August 29th of 2024, directed by Masashi Kudo and starring Andre Holland, Sumili Montono, Sonoya Mizuno, Rosario Dawson, and Timothy Olyphant. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my review of Terminator Zero. Just dropped on Netflix today as I'm recording this video. I binged it. And did I like it? Oh, yes, I did. I thought this was really fantastic. I thought it was a return to form, giving us another timeline with great characters that we can be invested in. And, just pushing the Terminator series forward. As you know, I'm a huge Terminator fan. Been a huge Terminator fan like pretty much all my life. I like most of the movies, I would say. Obviously, number one's my favorite. Number two is awesome. Those are the gold standard. But I have fun with Terminator Salvation. I think it's quite good. There's like any franchise, there's ups and there's downs. And, I'm not a hater of Dark Fate like most people are, although it's not the direction I would have taken it. I think we can all agree that there's a lot more potential in this franchise. And I think that's all what we would really want from it, right? And before we get heavy into the review, guys, I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible because I think this is something you should all experience and all that jazz that for yourself. So I don't want to be the guy spoiling it for you, so I will do my best for sure. And if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, share, go down the rabbit hole, comment down below if you've seen this already. Tell me what you think of it. Let's have a great discussion, spoiler-free as possible for the first while anyway. So give us a chance for other people to see it, and we'll have a good conversation, man, as always. So pretty much what we have here for the story, guys, is we have another soldier from the future. She comes back to the past of 1997 to protect this scientist named Malcolm Lee, who's developed this AI where the Resistance can use it to defend themselves against Skynet. So a lot of that sounds like a lot of the same things, and that's what it does really well. It takes us back to something familiar, but something new along the way too. Like this pushing the narrative a little forward, and it's altering between two timelines. We got the future of 2022. We don't spend a whole lot of time in that future, but just enough. And then we got 1997, the past. So it uses the timeline like we've seen before by a soldier going to the past, trying to change the future and all that, but it also uses it in other ways that I won't get too deep into here. But one thing I really liked it did with the timeline, it explained kind of like paradox and the time, and I think it brings a lot of clarity to that in a scientific way and all that, so I really like that. But we got this scientist of Malcolm Lee who's very distant with his family and has developed this AI to fight against Skynet, and this takes place like 2 days before Judgment Day is going to happen, and he knows Judgment Day is coming. You got a lot of the same things we've seen in Terminator movies, like this guy's having bad dreams about the future and everything like that, and there's a lot of moral complexities with him by developing this AI, and he has conversations with it, but he really doesn't want to turn his AI online because he's just worried that it will turn against humanity. And tapping into those themes of fate and free will again, like we've seen in the past, but going a little bit deeper, I would say, getting an insight on Skynet's perspective. Another aspect of the story I really like too is by fighting Skynet in a different way, like by when Malcolm, this character of Malcolm, develops this AI. He develops it and gives it free will. And so you're still getting those themes, like I said before, with fate and free will, but there's a lot going on, and I think it was a really fantastic way to tell this story. And like I said, I want you to kind of enjoy this and go into it really fresh, so I don't want to spoil it too much. But it's also very much a family story, too. That's where the heart of it all is this father, his kids, and they're all on the run. Very reminiscent of the first movie. They're on the run through each episode, like, because there's a Terminator after Malcolm. There's this female soldier who comes down who's there to protect Malcolm, and she ends up protecting his kids and all this kind of stuff with other characters. There's another great character who's the housekeeper, who has some great reveals, and there's other great reveals in this story. The characters all intertwined, everything makes sense. And when you get these reveals with all these characters, I wouldn't say they're going to shock you, but it's very Terminator-like. It's like, yes, this is a great way to take it, you know what I mean? And the tone is so good. Man, they finally get it, taking it back to its horror roots. You know what I mean? This is a real bloody series, man. And the way the Terminator makes his decisions, if he doesn't have a weapon, he's just gonna grab you by your throat. He's gonna freaking squeeze your freaking hand off. He's gonna do anything he can to kill you quickly and fast in the most efficient way. And I really like that. I don't think that's much of a spoiler. The trailers clearly show that there. There's Easter eggs, but not in the sense like there's no fan service really. You get another classic police station scene like from the first one, and the freaking walls just are splattered with blood. So bringing that horror element back is absolutely fantastic. And there was some pretty genuine suspense in this movie, even though it's anime. Another thing we gotta talk about is the anime, right? I'm not a big fan of anime. I'm not a huge fan of it. That's the only thing about this that I was worried about. What if I just don't get invested in it? But I was because of the story. The animation bothered me, and actually thought the animation was quite good. Like if you're into anime, if you're into Dragon Ball, and you're into Demon Slayer and all these things, like my kids watch that stuff. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed it for the story of this one. The action sequences too are shot well. The animation's well done. It's vicious, it's violent, it's bloody. You know what I mean? It really keeps you on the edge of your seat. At least I was. This show really got me excited again. For being a Terminator fan, because I kept thinking if this was live action, this would be knocking your socks off, man. This would be this badass. And a score I really enjoyed. The main theme of this score, it's one of those really simple scores, kind of like a Jaws, you know what I mean? There's a few notes, but the way to utilize it into the show is really good. It's ominous and dark, brooding, you know what I mean? And I really enjoyed the score on this thing. And characters, man, I really like the characters in this. As far as the voice acting goes, some performances are better than others. I felt like some of the kids in the story, when they had the emotional crying scene or something, a little bit over the top. And some things I did find maybe a nitpick here and there were a little over the top, but I really like Timothy Olyphant as the Terminator. I thought he was actually really great, really unique voice to give to this style of Terminator. Our main girl here, who's kind of like our Reese character, Aiko, who she's the one sent back into the past. I really liked. She was a badass. She didn't take shit from anybody. There to do a mission, really, really capturing the heart of those characters, but they're different characters and projecting it further for us, you know what I mean? You still have that heart. She was almost like a Sarah Connor and a Reese mixed into one character that I really liked. I thought she was fantastic. And even though John Connor and Sarah Connor are not in this, it's more of an alternate timeline, because when they stop their judgment day, nature abhors a vacuum, a new timeline exists, whatever have you. Even though they're not in it, there are some characters in this that have that same heart and feel. You know what I mean? Maybe on a live stream or something like that, I'll go right into the spoilers and everything like that and stuff like that. But there's stuff I just don't want to. I'm just treading carefully here for you guys, not to spoil too much for you. But there's a couple characters here who have that same that same kind of bond, that same kind of feel that you find out in reveals throughout this series. I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but definitely give this a shot on Netflix. If you're not an anime fan, stick it out because the story is really good. I think hopefully if this does well, if this is getting good ratings, everything like that, maybe people will notice, and maybe we'll get a live action version of something like this one day. You never know. I'm just being, optimistic. I'm being hopeful, but I really enjoyed Terminator Zero, man. So I'm gonna give Terminator Zero a B+. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments what you think of Terminator Zero. We'll have a great discussion on Terminator and Terminator Zero. Let's have, let's just talk some Terminator, man. That's gonna do it for me, guys. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I'll see you in the movies. Cheers.